Sometimes you have to first ban the Visage out of respect. Guys, I'm Mikelorus. I'm joined by Rhyme. Welcome back to MDL. We got the best of 3 to determine who else, along with Kingwin, advances into the playoffs. It's going to be going in, Crips for Life, DNZ. Again, I have no idea what's going on with their name. Going up against SQG. Hopefully these games should be pretty good, as I've been very impressed with the Dire team so far. SQG as well. I mean, I didn't really have any high hopes for these guys, but you know, they've been delivering. Do you have any similar opinions, differing opinions?
I think they had a lineup which they knew how to play, and they survived. I think they got to the point where their team fight was just too strong last game, and now they have to play against a team which I think has a little bit better execution than the team they were just playing against. So I think so. You got RMN. Oh, we got DNZ.DNZ. So I think if we see Bounty Hunter come up from these guys, they know how to play Bounty Hunter. They don't really have that same situation which happened last game. So I think SQG are in for a little bit more pressure this time.
5 seconds remaining.
Bounty Hunter games, it sometimes ends up like that, where you have to be the one scouting in order to buy space for your late game heroes. It just sometimes happens. But you know, usually you want to have absolute late game dominance if that is a plan you're going to implement, because it is very costly to give over that many kills in succession. We saw DNZ play Bounty Hunter yesterday, and he was absolutely everywhere, scouting and surviving, which is the important part of scouting. So this last ban is taking a really long time. Bounty Hunter will be banned out. That's some serious respect, dude. Banning out Bounty and banning out the Visage.
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get Omni Knight. Here we go.
Well, what a surprise.
They banned out Razor. Razor's the main counter, so Omni is in the pool. I think they're pretty happy with that, getting Omni without Razor being removed. So Gyro instantly.
Tiny?
Maybe not both together. I think they probably want to get a support out. They want to get some support which can do decently in lane. Maybe a Witch Doctor, but he doesn't do that great versus Omni.
What do we got? Witch Doctor, Bane, Sand.
From their usual pool.
Tusk.
Probably, yeah, Tusk maybe. Probably be seeing.
Dire team
Yeah.
pick.
There we go.
Team back.
Tusk has appeared.
And then Bane. Oh, damn.
Viper. Straight
That's
up.
Not a ban at all. Our perfect call record shattered
Yep.
in a million pieces. This is something that they did. Did they do Viper Omni? They definitely early picked Viper for Armen yesterday. Definitely early pick Omni Knight.
I don't remember where they
Omni
picked
Knight.
it. But they had a Viper. They had a Viper against Kingwin in the game that they won, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, where's this going to go? Omni Viper. So, straight up, that's one lane which is going to be really annoying to try and gank. Tusk is not going to enjoy ganking a Viper over and over again. Omni and Viper both have very good matchups versus Gyrocopter. Lifesteal has been banned out as well, so they don't want to deal with that Lifesteal or Radiance running around. They're probably going to ban out Jug as well from SQG.
Well, we'll see what. I mean, if they do ban out Jug, it's going to be really any support that going in want will be theirs. And if I recall correctly, this was Omni Knight Viper was in an aggressive context, getting a lot of kills, getting a lot of towers, keeping that Viper on the aggressive warpath. And definitely that's what you want to do if you can. And
yeah, you want to give him something to do.
It should be enabled.
A Viper, like, who's just like, well, I can't do anything for a while, so I'm just going to go farm, isn't a Viper, really. It's just, it's not what Viper wants to be doing. Viper, well, RMN liked to go, he was going like phase speed tequila helm with the Dominator, and he just ran at people. He ran at buildings, he ran at people, he ran at small animals. It's just, you know, that's what you want to do. So that's how they want to play Viper, but a CK ban, so they don't remove the Jug, so we'll see if DNZ.Oliver will be playing something like that.
The Enigma. That's what killed going in as their 4th pick yesterday up against Kingwin. We'll take that out again.
Just make sure there's no repeat.
Threatening high ground defense heroes. Already Gyrocopter's a pretty dangerous high ground defender, but yeah, it is going to be maybe a little bit difficult for going into to break high ground without having an offlane initiator. Supporting initiators are usually not the greatest. Tiny will be picked up for SQG after all, so looks like perhaps a mid gyro,
Radiant
mid Tiny.
It could be anything, really. Okay, Terrorblade, third pick. Terrorblade, after a Tiny pick, it's pretty nice. Like, Terrorblade just does well against Tiny in almost all phases of the game. Once you get past the bit where he can combo you, you're pretty good to go. Also gives them another tool to push. Gyro is pretty nice to have versus Terrorblade, and they've also got 2 more picks, but with the Tinker already out, there aren't that many heroes that are super good against them left. You can go for some like Timbersaw or Leshrac or something, but the Viper kind of deals with both of those heroes pretty well.
Well,
So,
going in, they still need... Well, I mean, both sides need some supports. The support pool is still incredibly deep right now for going in. They probably just want a little bit of protection for this Terrorblade, but they don't really need all that much. Definitely Initiation is going to be their shortcoming, and SQG busting something a little bit different. It's the IO. I'm a little bit surprised, honestly, that we've seen them play this many games, and we still haven't seen them play an IO, but IO Tiny is the classic, and if your Tiny is going to go up against, I don't know, matchups that perhaps don't have quite as much burst damage, then that sustain from IO can get pretty ridiculous as well, but TB and Viper can put a Tiny in a grave pretty quickly, even with that IO's sustain.
yeah, we've also got the Wisp Gyro combo as well, so you can, if you want, you can tether him and give him Ags if you choose to take that talent, so Gyro's DPS goes up quite a lot. Alright, Sand King secured, so that's the 4th position for DNZ to be playing. DNZ.DNZ. So the last pick is on the side of SQG, so we're probably going to be seeing just a generic 5 support being last picked by going in. And the last ban here, what are they going to ban out? Maybe Witch Doctor, Rubik or something? No, we'll be seeing what ban it is soon.
Disruptor?
Yeah, Disruptor's good versus the Wisp as well. There's also the Ancient Apparition, which works kind of well, but they probably want a bit more like buttons and disables to press on the side of... yeah, they do ban out the Disruptor. So he's the nice mix of counter and also catch.
Yeah, that is something that the going inside will really struggle to do. Sand King is great at it. Finding heroes, getting them out of position, and then your allies kill them off. TB, Viper, Omni, they just don't do that. The only way they actually get on top of a target is by running at them. And usually you don't really want to be running into a Gyrocopter or a Tiny. That's a little bit too slow and it's a little bit too risky. So going in's initiation style might be a little bit difficult to execute. If they can still stay on the aggressive and siege towers with this Terrorblade, then that might not be that much of an issue. But it is going to be difficult if they don't get all those towers down. And then if they're looking for fights when everyone's 5-manned, it's going to be them on the disadvantage. And
so they do actually go for the AA. Yeah. So it makes killing everything a lot easier. Wisp basically becomes a non-factor if you actually manage to get the Sand King stun into AA ulti. And we'll be seeing that quite a few times this game, I think. And the last pick for SQG, they can pick mid, they can pick offlane, they can really go for whatever, but it's Panda ban. Ooh, what are they going to go for? They don't really have that much choice here. He's going to be against the Sand King AA lane as well, so no matter what he picks, they don't really want to put the Tiny against that because the Tiny's going to struggle a lot. So maybe there's an offlaner out there somewhere that can do a bit better. Clockwork is still in, but he's pretty awful this game. Puck can be okay, but they have instant disable in Sand King. They've got Viper as well, so the Legion Commander. I don't like that. I don't like that.
This is kind of... I'm not going to say I like it, but I think it's pretty interesting because now you have lanes for SQG where obviously the Tusk is going to be causing mayhem everywhere, but you also have the potential for Wish to join the Legion Commander and try to play a little bit aggressively. It is going to be in a situation where their kills may not be the most viable, namely looking at this Terrorblade. I hear that if you run at him, he's kind of okay with it since he'll just fistfight you. But Sand King AA, they can get a lot of stun duration on you, but that's usually not going to combo perfectly. So you're able to press that off if you're really going to be in that position. And with an IO sustain there, they might actually be able to get something done out of that offlane if it's going to be an IO with the Legion Commander. They definitely
I think the only way this Legion lanes is if they help him with Wisp. Like, it's going to have to be a Wisp Legion dual lane. And they want to have the Tiny 1v1 versus the Omni Knight, because I think the Tiny does pretty well there if you place it right. And they'll be putting the The gyro mid? Putting the gyro mid here seems very spooky, especially against the Viper.
I don't know if any one of these heroes wants to go up against that Viper.
Pretty sure the Tiny would do it okay, especially in the early levels. But they're going to do this Wisp Gyro. They're going to... Oh, I think they're just throwing this LC to the wolves, basically.
Yeah. I mean, LC can still be kind of a tough nut to crack. But at a certain point, if you do land a Burrow Strike, you get a lot of right clicks in with the Terrorblades, get the Cold Feet or Chilling Touch action, and they'll just tear her to shreds. Smoke onto Smoke right now. DNZ pushing forward. Burrow Strike only onto the Tusk, who's in the front. Heals onto him, but it's not going to be enough. And now they're going to charge forward for a little bit more. DNZ, Burrow Strike. 3,
on the slow.
2, 1, and Burrow Strike onto Mad Kings. Viper Strike, or Viper Poison Attack is there, and Mad Kings is stuck. Double kill, in fact, for RMN. Wow, now that's a start for a mid laner.
Yeah, this is a
2-0
perfect scenario for him. He's now starting off the lane. He's going to get the bounty runes, and then they're going to get the Ring of Aquila on the Viper, so he's going to be starting off the lane with like 60 damage compared to the Gyro's 50. Mid lane already looking incredibly one-sided. And also, there's just 2 deaths on the side of SQG, and this is going to be an aggro tri-lane coming out. Although they don't have the Metamorphosis, so he's a bit less scary at level 1 now.
Mm-hmm. That's like the only real cost there for going in, is the fact that Terrorblade is now not really a hero. They are going to get a 3-1 rune split, however, so that's kind of nice for them. And
oh, they're going to swap these lanes out straight away. They're going to send the Terrorblade to top lane.
Oh, there you go. This is going to be a little bit... I mean, it's still not great going up against the Tiny. Like, you're going up against a vast damage disadvantage. But, you know, you could actually, I think, handle this for a little while, at least until you get that additional minute to get that additional Metamorphosis up. So, you know, Armen, Ring of Aquila, as you said, starting off with 60 damage up against the Gyrocopter. This is already a lane that is looking a little bit rough for Gyro, even without those early 2 kills.
Yeah, it starts off okay, deceptively okay, and then Viper starts getting more level, aggressive, and well, you get the idea. He's also going to get trapped out here with the shards, but I don't think they can kill him. So Sanking will TP in anyway to secure him.
You got the Mitch AA just using Chilling Touch, poking at him, and over in the mid lane, oh, Davey taking a lot of damage. Poison Attack is only level 1. Armando's already gotten a lot of action with it. Sticking around with this Sand King, he picked up Windlace first, not Boots first, but as long as you're able to get a little bit closer, that's all that matters. The CS in the mid lane is kind of sparse, but now the lanes are still being swapped up. It'll be the Legion Commander top lane, and the Tiny Wisp is now on bottom versus the Omni Knight. And, well, we'll see what Mad King can do on this top lane. If DNZ ever rotates in, then he's in quite a bit of trouble, especially if he is able to get in while this Legion is still level 1.
Yeah, this Legion, I don't see him really having a laning phase here.
Oh, he picked up Moment of Courage. That might cost him a bit here, because Reflection and the right clicks is going to already chip him down. Now the Burrow Strike, and he'll just pop. Not like heal would have saved him there.
Yeah, it wouldn't have saved him at all. He's just dead. He can't stay there. And now he's sitting with his TP on cooldown, level 2. He's going to... The top lane isn't pushing in, so he's got no XP to look for. He can't go bot. He can't get any XP anywhere, really. He's just kind of stuffed. We're looking at mid, like 6 and 7 on the Viper. He's missing a lot of CS. Like he's not really having it anywhere near as much to do. But it's okay because he's still ahead. He's a level ahead of the Gyro almost. And he can start to exert a bit more pressure when he gets some more levels. Mitch is going to get
They're trying to enable this Legion Commander now. Io with the Legion, even the Tusk here as well. And they'll have a pretty good angle and pretty good timing where the Terrorblade is at his tower with no Metamorphosis. But I mean, this is a lot of effort to just try to enable your off lane. This is kind of the reason I think we both were a little bit lukewarm on this Legion Commander, is that the laning phase isn't really clean for her. DNZ has a Burrow Strike opportunity for 2. He's going to instead just go onto the Wisp, leave Mitch for dead while trying to get the kill. And the Bounty Rune, I guess.
They knew he was going to get shotted off, so they knew he was going to die no matter what. So I guess they were trying to get the return kill on the Wisp, but it wasn't to be. Mad Kings, though, still only 6 CS, level 2, compared to the level 4 Terrorblade with 20 and 10. This lane has not gone well. Will it get any easier though? That's the thing. LC, no, it's not going to get any easier. Turbo's going to have meta again. He's going to get more levels. He's going to get treads, and his damage is just going to go up, and the lane gets worse, I think.
There is quite a bit of cost here. The fact that Viper is 14-14. Jeez, the denies from RMN. You outrange the gyrocopter just slightly. How much range? Attack range 575 versus... Okay, that's a lot of...
About to
200
get real
attack
bad.
range difference. So you'll have the range advantage. So that's one of those costs. The Viper is beating your gyrocopter. And another cost is that, you know, Tricky's doing okay in this bottom lane as a Tiny, but Boogie's under absolutely no pressure. And this Omni Knight doesn't really have much to fear from that Tiny as long as he plays half decently. So and they will teleport the IO in towards mid lane. DNZ will take quite a bit of damage here. And Missile will come in. That will not kill. Only 75 damage there. So they're putting a lot of heroes on this top lane to enable this Legion Commander, while at the same time kind of costing pressure that could be going into this Omni Knight, into this Viper.
Yeah, this laning phase now has got very hard for Gyro because Viper has hit level 5. It is time for poison attacks all the time. And Davey he's going to have to snowball dodge that to save himself.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Or also this bot lane, Boogie is getting a huge amount of this bot lane. And Tiny is under attack.
Purification, Burrow Strike. There's just a lot of health to grind through here on Tricky, so they can't quite nuke him down. Boogie is just short of his level 5 for additional burst damage from that Purification. Yet still they're camping out, looking for this Tusk perhaps, and the creep wave is coming in. They will Burrow Strike, dodge the Avalanche on DNZ, looking to stick onto that Tusk, but pulls the tower aggro. And it looks like he will be able to slip away. But at the same time, they were going for the Gyrocopter over in the mid lane. He's able to barely survive that one. Looks like everyone and their mom is going to go to the shrine. But these damage trades definitely look like they're in the advantage of going in.
Yeah, they have so much more to work with in this laning phase. Ever since they secured this top lane, LC is unable to contest the Terrorblade's farm, right? So they can leave this as a 1v1. Terrorblade is going to crush the Legion Commander. And as a result, it lets them move their supports wherever they want. They can pressure this Tiny. They can make sure that this Omni Knight wins this bot lane convincingly. They can make sure that the Gyro doesn't even really get to look in mid. He's 2 levels behind the Viper already. Viper now with the ulti can pretty much go for a kill on Gyro whenever the Tusk and Wisp aren't around. Ugh. This laning phase is looking very strong, like already a 3k lead for
I was just about to say,
DNZ.RMN and DNZ.DNZ.
The CS is like not looking that bad for SQG, but 6 minutes in, 3k advantage. That is just a disgusting amount of advantage. Looking to make it a little bit more, actually. Snowball save is needed. I'm not really sure if that's going to save him, though, because now he's on the other side of the shards, and so is the Tusk. RMN is taking a little bit of damage from creeps, but he doesn't care at all. That's a killing spree, and 2 kills for the mid lane, now pushing the lead up to 4k. 4k lead at, like, 15 minutes in is still a lot.
Yeah, 4k lead now is excessive.
Yeah.
Right, so DNZ and Mitch are just kind of sitting together. They're waiting, working out what the next move is. It's a bug, apparently. Boogie is just staring down Tricky. I think, as Tiny versus Omni, once you lose control of like the very early lane, and like Omni gets to, like level 4, 5 when you're not really ahead of him, that's the point where the lane just stops really becoming that playable for you. As you can see, he's maxing Avalanche, so he's looking to get that big combo damage because the Avalanche damage will get doubled when he tosses him. But Boogie's sitting with Treads. He can go to Strength Treads, be sitting at like 1.2k HP. And then there's really no kill to be had there for the Tiny. So in terms of SQG, what is their move? Where did they go? What do they do? The tools they have are Legion level 6 when he gets level 6, Gyro level 6 when he gets level 6. But I say when because they're both sitting at level 4, stuck in these 1v1 matchups that have gone horribly, horribly wrong. So now SQG just needs to wait.
They have to just take it. They have no other options. The IO might get frozen in place. No, just tethers out. And actually, they're still looking for a fight because RMN's coming in. He's coming in hot. Wish is slow with no boots. 100 movement speed, that's not impressive. He's going to die to the poison. Now focusing onto the Gyrocopter. He just wants his level 6. Give it to him. Oh, no, he's dead as well. Davey's going to find DNZ. This Sand King might go down to this Tusk here. And yeah, he's out of mana. Can't Burrow Strike out. The Tusk is going to find a kill. But Davey now caught with the poison. He's slowed to a crawl. Snowball in towards RMN. Ripperino Tusk. You don't have a Blink Dagger to get out of this one, buddy. It's an unstoppable Viper. 6-0-1, 7 minutes in. Oh, and now, yeah, that build you were mentioning, the Aquila, the phase boots, Helm of the Dominator, probably. This dude is looking fierce.
Yeah, he's just so far ahead. The gyro is now sitting at level 4 to level 7. Like, the gap is just opening up wider and wider and wider. And all the while, there is this terribly just hitting creeps top lane. They're looking at him now, but they can snowball, they can do what they want, but he's got Sunder. It doesn't even matter. There's no chance for a kill here. Even when the LC gets level 6, they're still dealing with an 18 armor Terrorblade. The only way I see them killing this guy is with Gyro and a duel. So how do you get the Gyro to the same place as the Legion Commander? You're probably going to need a Wisp TP. When's the Wisp TP going to come out? Not anytime soon, because he's level 3. Ugh.
The Gyro's level 4 still. The levels are just getting kind of disgustingly an advantage of going in. To the point where it's like these heroes in SQG just can't do anything until they just have to survive the laning phase for a little while longer. The Tiny's level 8. I mean, he's doing great in the XP department, but he can only kill one hero at a time. Like, he's just that type of hero. So, like,
just looking
maybe
around,
you
you
pick
can
off
already see
an
these
SK,
wards.
maybe you get an AA occasionally, but these cores are looking really, really fat, especially Oliver, who should have a Dragon Lance first, and at that point, like, he's still killable, but you can't really just go in as a Tiny and expect a free kill on a TB.
Yeah, at this point, he can't really... Yeah, killing anyone at this point is not a prospect for him. He needs to get like a Shadow Blade, I guess, because Blink is not going to be enough. He needs to increase his damage output. Look at these wards, man. Mitch and DNZ just sitting on top of their own ward. Just There's a ward behind the tier 1 mid, ward behind the tier 1 top. Gyro and Wisp just sitting together, holding the fort between the tier 1 and tier 2.
His position is in the Viper. Like,
yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's going.
RVP
Here we
gets out
go.
of position. He's pretty screwed. They have a Viper Strike. They don't even need a Viper Strike. Why waste mana when you can just right-click him down? Here comes Boogie with the Ace Rune. And Wish is in the wrong neighborhood. Oh no, Omni Knight coming in with the chair. There's a Purification. There's a dead Io. And Armen with the Rimedota turned on is going to tank the creep wave because he can't. Oh, Tricky. Tricky, what are you doing here, bro? Because Armen still has a little bit more mana for a couple more poison attacks. The degen aura, if they can get it to stick, it's like won't quite happen. Armen pushing forward pretty much by himself, but he doesn't need no man. He's fine. They will pick off the Sand King in the process, but in exchange for this Tiny, they'll lose the AA and Sand King. But again,
Gyro
who
comes in
cares?
for the AA,
Now
but,
Purification onto RVP. Boogie's just gonna club him to death with a poison attack from Armen, level 4 at this stage. They are cleaning house in this jungle area, I guess. And in the meantime, there's still a Terrorblade in this game. He took the top lane tier 1.
Yeah, this is getting a bit obscene now. 8k lead, almost a 1k gold lead per minute. They're just... Remember we used that meat grinder analogy going on? Viper is that. It's just, they're just running into him. Wisps, Gyrocopters, Tinies, Tusks, it doesn't matter what it is, it will be killed. And he's got the Helm of the Dom, he's got his Siege Creep. Mad Kings is trying to stall out this push, but you're an LC, you've got Phase Boots. That Viper has a Helm of the Dom and is level 9. You are not touching him. You are not thinking about touching him. If you even look at him, you will probably die.
Throw in shards, but I mean, this chip damage is like irrelevant.
Here we go, it's Viper versus the world.
Purification,
There's an Omni Knight right there.
Is going to get repelled, still is going to be dueled with this many heroes. Maybe the will take him down, and they will finally do so. Boogie as well, caught in the slows, will go down as Mitch is going to zoomerate away, but the long toss in from Davey, they can't quite get anything there. TB going to teleport in, he's already metamorphed.
Oh, he
They
didn't
will
get the
find
reflection in
two
time.
really big kills, SQG, in the Viper and in the Omni Knight. It does, however, require literally their entire team, and it again costs them a top tower. Tier 2 is now gone.
Yeah, it's just Terrorblade is sitting top of the net worth. He hasn't been bothered by an enemy hero for a very, very long time. DNZ is also just free farming away down bot lane. He's catching up. I think he also got the tower on bot. Yes, he did. So he's going to get that bounty rune, and then he's going to wait, and then he's going to pick up the bounty rune again, and then he's going to find himself quite close to his blink all of a sudden. So that fight was Omni Knight and Viper versus the world. I'd say they lost to the world, but it was almost a draw. And now Omni's just tanking up. He's buying the drum. Viper's buying the 4 stuff. This is a known build from RMN. I remember he went Helm of the Dom and he had a 4 stuff, and he was happy sitting on that for about 8 minutes. But I think he'll be a little bit more farm this time.
Well, if this game is the start is any indication, then yeah, you should have a 4 staff in the blink of an eye. And once he has that, then getting out of the call down, getting over the shards and whatnot. A super value item for Viper in any game, but this game is going to be especially powerful. So it's something else that SQG have to worry about. And again, they haven't really had to worry about this Terrorblade, or at least they've ignored him, so they haven't worried about this Terrorblade.
Oh, they definitely have to worry about this Terrorblade. When the fight actually is
coming in for real, like when everyone on going in are actually in the fight, then they'll just start to fold. We even see Tricky right now taking a lot of damage from RMN. A little bit short on the mana, so he can't drop a Viper Strike. And the IO is still here with the relocate as necessary, so Tricky's not going to die here.
They need to use this relocate effectively. They need to get a duel somewhere and then relocate someone in and get a kill, but as long as Omni Knight stays hidden, there's no way they can.
Mad Kings tried to charge in towards Mitch, and
Wish with the relocate
utterly
in.
failed in doing so. Wish relocates in, but into the wrong neighborhood. It's Purified.
I don't think
He's
there's a
way
really
too slow
right
to do that
neighborhood for this guy.
convincingly.
Wish was just searching for a place to be, something to do, but with his LC is not the place. He's a Soak Viper, he's got his attack speed, he's got level 10, he's just running around with his troll creep, just waiting up this high ground. He's sitting under a ward, but that ward is going to expire. And there is a smoke coming out from Mad Kings, RVP, and Davi. They are ready.
Omni Knight and Viper versus the world. Perhaps.
Here we go again.
Gold Trap is there. Shards will not quite block.
Can he get the duel?
The snowballs should get them in range for a duel. Can they burst him down before the purification? Looks like he'll have a heal. Looks like he'll once again be on the run, but Shards will block him off. And they will kill off Boogie. So, I mean, it takes, again, literally the entire team, but SQG are getting kills. Are they worth it? Probably not, because they're not getting anything on all of these heroes in the meantime. They're also losing a lot of map control. But at least they are getting some of these items to enable kills in the future.
Yeah, they're setting themselves up. They've almost, well, they're going to get the blink soon-ish. He's got about 600 gold left to get that blink. On the LC, Gyrocopter's got his Phaser Killer Drum. I mean, that's all you can really ask him to have at this point. And Tiny's got his blink. They've got some tools to work with, but there's a smoke coming out from... Actually, it's just Mitch sitting in smoke by himself. With DNZ.
There's a blink on the Sand King. This Gyro is just dead to the dots. No way to heal him up either. He's just going to fall. Now Davy's in a little bit of trouble as well. Does have a snowball, but has to worry about the Terrorblade, who has arrived to the fight. Davy's going to dodge a purification, but not dodge death. As the TB has already taken down the tier 2 with this metamorphosis.
Oh, they go on high ground.
Yeah, might as well go. They have to have TPs, and the side shop's not too far away from top lane, but they gotta go, like, right now, because this TB is still with Metamorphosis. They will fortify. They have the Helm of Dominator for as well from RMN, so Oliver is absolutely dishing. And he's picked up an extra 10 stats, yeah, towards the Mantis style, not bad. Tier 3 probably will stay alive here, but none of the other buildings really have a long lifespan.
So are they just going to run for the tier 2 mid? They might as well. But they could just farm out the enemy woods and just maybe place a few wards. They've got this ward next to the tier 2 mid, so that's going to help them out a bit. They can see a possible smoke. Oh, no, they're going to smoke before they get to the low ground. So they might have a chance of catching RMN here. But he's got Omni right next to him, who is also sitting under a ward. I think we've seen the situation before.
Well, this time there's a Blink Dagger. Relocate coming in as well. The Omni Knight not going to die to the duel, so again, no damage here, but they will get the kill. And they will isolate the Viper, who's pretty bulky, but not invulnerable. Again, takes the entire team, but this time there's no split push. So they also might get Mitch as an extra bonus kill here. Ancient Apparition, good freaking luck, dude. Tricky gonna jump right in front of him, and Mitch will fall as well. That's a 3 kill for SQG, and again, all credit to them. They're making the plays they need to make in order to get back at least into this experience game. Gold still not going to go their way for a very long time, but it's what they need to be doing.
Yeah, they can just about get away with this. Like, the thing with this lineup from going in is that Terrorblade can't really move around the map very easily. They can't always be together. They're farming out the map, but I think at this point they just need to stick to 2 lanes. Don't try and farm the entire map. Don't spread out too much, and don't give SQG this opportunity, because SQG will run at a hero with 5 heroes because it's worth it. It is worth taking fights 5-on-1, 5-on-2, not farming while you get these kills. Every single time they'll take it, so giving them that opportunity? There's no real reason to. Just stay together, work in groups of 2, you know. It's like, Omni Knight probably needs to be sitting with the Sand King and the Viper. Terrorblade can do whatever he wants because he casts illusions, but there's no real reason to be farming alone like they were.
Tier 2 mid, the last easy objective here for the going inside, and then perhaps looking at that Roche, but for sure right now it seems like it's time to sit
another
back.
DD rune.
Ooh. DD mid push? There's no BKB on the Terrorblade yet. That's definitely an item worth waiting for.
They don't need to. He's just going to bottle it, take the...
Got it.
I think... I saw on Reddit you could share runes now at the bottom.
I think they
that
fixed
wasn't any
it.
patch notes.
I think they fixed it, and now they just don't have a DD on their Terrorblade.
Okay, that was a bug.
That's some interesting video gameplay right there.
Hey.
RVP's just sitting hitting this top lane, and there's DNZ to stop him. He has his 4-star, so he can disengage after getting that stun, but he's waiting for his teammates, I think.
Double damage Omni Knight isn't too bad either. Plus 100 with the phase boost power treads. You could really lay it in there.
Yeah, he could
Unless the
deliver the
enemies just
justice,
decide to
the
TP.
hammer of the light, and stuff like that.
Well, they are looking like it's just going to be a BKB timing here for going in. They're getting a little bit of farm here and there. Boogie is pushing it. Top lane pretty far, but I mean, he's an Omni Knight, so he can do this with pretty much impunity. So
I think they're just going to
will
go for this Roche,
go
maybe.
into Roche, fill up the sigil. Metamorphosis available, but not being used just yet. Everyone now going to start to converge on the Roche pit. Eyes on Sand King, eyes on where this Tiny actually goes. It's going the wrong way. Roshan's the other way.
Yeah, there's no way they can contest this. Viper's actually pretty nice for killing Roche because the slow just works. And he actually does deal a lot of damage with his poison attack. And they'll get this Aegis on the Terrorblade. And they have meta. And they're all grouped up. And the lanes are in an okay position. So maybe this is time for them to put some pressure on that tier 3 or tier 2 mid or the tier 3 bottom.
Do you know?
Perhaps both.
Do you know if Nether Toxin breaks Roshan so he can't bash and stuff?
I don't think it does. But I don't know.
Reading the ability, you would think it does, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't work also. Barosh
No, they
right,
caught
does
Mad
catch the
Kings.
Legion Commander, Force Staff in from the Viper. Tries to TP away. The dots will not be enough. He'll just clean him right off. Oh, they're going in for the Ice Blast in the Fountain. He's already fine. Mad Kings is going to eat this one like a champ.
Yeah, they need
use a
to
little
do that
bit of
almost
mana.
instantly.
In fact, Viper is completely out of mana. That is expensive. This hero chews through mana like nobody's business nowadays, so you got to be really careful about that. But they're still going to go in for that mid lane tower. No BKB just yet, but this time a little bit of split push. Tricky's on this bottom lane. Might be able to take down this tower. This last tier 2 will for sure fall. And with the Aegis in tow, Oliver is just short of his BKB completion. They want to go in without it. Looks like the answer is yes. Armand still is low on mana. He has a couple bottle charges coming in from the Omni Knight, who has picked up the disc, so very easy to combo break that Tiny. And now Oliver is going to start laying it in as the Terrorblade. Mad King's going to Force Staff into... Oh, DNZ Force Staffed him in, actually. And he's going to get tossed right back out from the Tiny. Great plays from both sides. Tricky, though, on the low ground in an awkward spot, but with the Shadow Amulet is just chilling. They are going to jump in with the dots and kill him off, though. Mad Kings also dies in the process, and they're going to slide right down bottom lane where they already did a lot of the work. Double buybacks now out. Oliver still has that Aegis. Still has Boogie with a lot of extra sustain for him. And that was pretty insane. The Force Staff on the low ground to push the Legion into them, and then the toss back in from the Tiny. I mean, it didn't work out well for SQG. They lost 2 heroes and had to buy back on both of them, but that was pretty nasty.
It was a pretty nice attempt to save from the Tiny, but Tiny himself doesn't actually have any way of getting out, so he was reliant entirely on his Shadow Amulet. So they just basically lost 2 cores for the price of 1. And now Terrorblade sitting 14k net worth, Lord of All. He's going to be hitting the Shrine, he's got his BKB. And they'll have Aegis for the next push, so I'm pretty sure unless some miracle fight happens, SQG are going to lose racks in the next 2 minutes. And the haste is bottled on Viper.
We'll see what they can do. They still have a minute before Metamorphosis is up, so they're trying to make the most of it. There's an Ice Blast coming in. That'll do nothing. It misses. The Viper is going to draw the Tusk Where are you going with that Tusk, man? He's, there he is. He's gonna try to shard himself into the trees and get away here. Purification, right clicks, they have him. Top lane being pushed, though. So, you know, they're trying. They're certainly trying, SQG.
It's Gyro. It's not known for his building damage abilities.
Yeah.
He's just gonna... He'll hit the building a bit, might pressure this tower, but the Wisp can always relocate him out, but maybe Oliver's just gonna find them, but they should be out of here just fine. He'll both get a TP. And Terrorblade will get to work on pushing this lane out.
Metamorphosis timer, 30 seconds. Maybe it's time to converge and once again look for that Rax push. Aegis is taken away, still has quite a bit of time on it. Viper's mana pool is actually looking pretty deep this time around, so our men will have many more options. Sentries at the high ground, making sure they're not spotted. They're just doing their due diligence right now.
Yeah, they're just doing this methodically, carefully. They're getting their items, they're getting the Veil on the Sand King, they've got the Aeon Disc on the Pike finish on the Viper, Terrorblade BKB as previously mentioned. And they're just gonna go, really. There's not much reason not to. The D push is really lacking. They've got Legion Command and Nuke and some Gyro stuff, but I'm pretty sure they can just walk straight through it.
Going in have an insane amount of magic amplification. Like, it's actually disgusting. I'm not gonna do any math right now, but they have Nether Toxin, they have the Veil, and they have the Ancient Apparition Vortexes. So, if only they had some magic damage, that would be pretty sweet. They're just gonna get to work on the Rax. Wish is gonna hit with the Ice Blast and Burrow Strike. That's a dead IO right there. Snowball comes in a little bit too late. Now the Tusk is in a compromised spot, although the Avalanche Toss is gonna give him some space. Oliver will still have that Aegis and will still have the Sunder, and of course the Omni Knight. There is no creep wave here, though it is coming in, so they will be able to clean up the rest of this bottom lane. One kill richer for themselves. Sand King not willing to jump in just yet. Although
Oliver's just looking for that Sunder.
Yeah.
He wants it. They're going to be happy with that Rax.
It's probably all they can
Maybe
get
there's a smoke timing for SQG when someone walks over the bot lane ward all alone. But I don't think they will.
You called it. 2 minutes. Rax. And now now it's time to take, you know, perhaps one more shrine. Maybe they're at a point where they're powerful enough and they figure, hey, we could probably just, you know, start chipping at another set of Rax, maybe top lane once we get another Metamorphosis up. You have the BKB on the Terrorblade after all, so maybe they're going to get to that stage. I am rather impressed, though, by RVP, second place in net worth. It's not bad, Gyro. It's not bad at all, considering the game.
Yeah, he's been farming pretty much non-stop for the last 15 minutes or so. He's been sitting on the opposite side of the map for pretty much every going in. He's playing as he has to. He's been sitting with a Wisp. Like, he's been like farming, going like, okay, guys, we're gonna farm with the Gyro and Wisp, and if something happens, we're gonna TP in with the Wisp Gyro, and then we're gonna fight. But they haven't really had a fight where they do that recently. Bad Kings is just gonna TP out. Oh, that was so close. So ended up being worth it for Mad Kings, but it was very close to definitely not being worth it.
AA is down. SQG will get their tiny caught. And they do have vision here from someone. He's going to blow that Shadow Blade away, and Tricky's now going to get torn apart. Yeah, gem on the SKs. In addition, they have also caught the Tusk. Tries to snowball to the creep wave, but one more poison attack. Not even going to look at that explosion. Well, it's nice to have status resistance, if only it did anything versus Degen Aura.
Yep. Omni's just like, cool, I'm here. Doesn't really mean anything to me, I just follow you. And now they have Metamorphosis, BKB, 2 heroes dead. Here we go.
Doesn't get much better than this. Could get a little bit better if they had a better creep than the speed creep, but hey, 12% movement.
I mean, don't knock that speed creep. I love that creep, man. That creep's great.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he's definitely the most baller creep in the game. Like, no question whatsoever. But Tiny down for 20, and in 20 seconds, the Rax will be dead for about 10 seconds. Our men is pushing everyone back by himself. He knows he has Omni Knight cover, although that repel was a little bit off. He knows he has a Force Staff. He's actually going to use it to get in, try to snipe Wish. He takes a little bit of damage here, but the regeneration on himself with the bottle, with the Helm of the Dominator, it's quite a bit. They have to go now or never because they're running out of buildings to give up right now. The duel goes off into the Omnic, but he gets the Aeon Disc. Oliver pops the BKB, and he's just going to stand his ground. Reflects up absolutely everyone. There's the Guardian Angel there as well. Suddenly, no one's doing any damage. This Gyrocopter's going to get torn to shreds by the Epicenter. The Io will as well fall, as the Viper's going to force staff himself forward, trying to go for Mad Kings. Will have to go back as the tier 4 towers hurt quite a bit, but in the way back lines, it's tricky. Still trying to disengage that Shadow Blade. It doesn't matter. GG is called, and this game is looking methodical for going in. Get a little bit of a lead, tower, 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 and then you win. I mean, that's textbook right there.
I mean, a bit of a lead. They were just, everything that went into that middle lane was a complete disaster. There was nothing good coming out of that lane. Viper just murdered everyone. It was just Gyro after Wisp after Tusk, and then eventually they just weren't able to stop it. And there were a few signs of life. There were some 5-man rotations with duels on the Omni Knight, and then he bought an Aeon Disc and then ran down the lane with his Terror Blade, who had 20k net worth. SQG just didn't get through the laning phase. They did not survive the laning phase of this game. And then the game went on, but the deficit they incurred in that time was just too much.
Would you agree in that it was a combination of perhaps not the right heroes in those lanes, and also not playing them out to the highest caliber?
I don't really know what they were meant to do with this Gyro versus the Viper matchup. I don't think they could really do anything with him. I think they were expecting him to do a little bit better or being able to do something with the Wisp and the Tusk, but I don't think they were really set up to do anything other than lose these lanes. I'm pretty sure giving farm priority to the Tiny, he was meant to do something, right? We saw it before. Remember, RMM played Tiny on safe lane, and he had free farm. But he was actually doing better than this one, but he couldn't do anything. And it's the same situation here. How is Tiny meant to use the free farm on a safe lane to actually influence the game? He can't. There is no move that he can make. And when you're a Tiny with farm and there's no move you can make and you just have to keep farming, it just feels hopeless. So I'd say it's a hero issue, honestly. I don't think the LC last pick was what they needed. But I don't even think you can really blame it on a last pick, because if you have to last pick an LC, you're probably stuck for choice.
Yeah, I mean, we both said it. We both that's not that good. But you know what? That's fine, because you can lose one game. You still have another shot in game 2, going in looking incredibly strong after this win. We'll see if SQG can do anything moving forward. Guys, game 2 is going to be coming up very shortly. Don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere.